Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to attend today's presentation. My name is Adam Schmidt, and I'm the Vice President of Business Development with MCAG. I've been with MCAG for more than 16 years, and I primarily assist clients and partners in educating them about upcoming class action settlement opportunities, as well as how to file appropriately. This webinar is being recorded, and a copy of the recording, as well as the slide deck, will be available to all attendees and registrants for this event. And MCAG is more than happy to include additional marketing or educational pieces upon request. Excuse me, we'll get started with today's presentation. During today's presentation, we will cover several important topics, including a brief background and history of MCAG, an overview of the Discover Card merchant settlement, the second round of the acute care hospital opioid settlement, MCAG service and value drivers, enrolling in MCAG service, and then we'll save some time at the end for Q&A. This presentation really shouldn't last longer than 30 minutes. And if you have any questions as to whether or not your organization is enrolled in all settlements, please do not hesitate to reach out to Kim, Anita, or myself following this presentation. Additionally, any questions that may come up, we'll be happy to answer with an email or a call if desired. The first settlement we'll cover today is the Discover Merchant Settlement. This settlement addresses allegations that Discover Financial Services misclassified certain consumer credit card transactions as commercial accounts. This resulted in higher interchange fees for businesses, many of which were overcharged, unfairly overcharged for years. In standard transactions, commercial accounts pay a higher interchange fee than consumer, and as a result, Discover has agreed to set aside $1.2 billion to reimburse affected merchants. If your organization accepted or processed Discover Card transactions between January 1st, 2007 and December 31st, 2023, you could be eligible to recover funds from this settlement. The settlement breaks down class members into three separate categories. Those are end merchants, and this includes businesses directly accepting Discover cards. So this would be the colleges and universities that are members of the coalition would be end merchants. It also includes merchant acquirers. This category covers entities facilitating Discover credit card transactions. And then last but not least is payment intermediaries. This category includes entities processing Discover card transactions on behalf of merchants. It is estimated that up to 11 million merchant IDs or MIDs were impacted by Discover's actions. And in terms of important dates and deadlines, the first two dates that are listed here are really only applicable to merchant acquirers or payment facilitators. Essentially, these dates refer to deadlines for submitting data that will assist in determining damages to class members. So the first date, which is already passed, is the March 25th, 2026 opt-out deadline. Class members that opt out typically do so because they're going to pursue the defendants directly with their own legal counsel. And it's obviously assumed that most of you are on here for this presentation did not choose to opt out and go after Discover directly. The more important deadline is the May 18th, 2026 claim filing deadline. Unless something changes, a valid claim must be submitted by this date in order to receive payment from the settlement. And what we always advise our clients to do is, even if you're not 100% sure that you're eligible for the settlement, it can't hurt to have us do an analysis to figure out if you might be eligible. And the reason is, if you have a seat at the table, there's always a chance that you can get payment. But if nothing is filed by the filing deadline on May 18th, then there's no chance for payment. In terms of next steps, there's really two major priorities. The first is to review and confirm your information. So for existing clients, we already have at least partial data for most of you. However, it's important that you confirm all merchant IDs or MIDs that were used during the time frame, any credit card processors that were used during the time frame, a list of all tax ID numbers that were used during the eligible time frame, and any location addresses as well. Additional location or merchant ID numbers can be added in the Settlement Recovery Hub, or you can reach out via our website or call to speak with an account representative. We have included information on how to enroll in the hub in the next slide if you've not already done so. If we already have all the information from filing into the Visa MasterCard settlement, you should be all set, unless there are any merchant ID numbers that have been added for the years 2020 to 2023. The Discover settlement covers an additional 3 years that were not included in the Visa MasterCard settlement. So Visa MasterCard was 2007 to 2020, and Discover's 2007 to 2023. Please also remember to forward any claim forms or notices that you receive from the settlement administrator, as they may be useful in supplementing our filings. You do not need to fill out the claim forms or populate any fields before sending it to MCAG if we're filing on your behalf. It's just very helpful for us to have all the claim forms to make sure we're not missing any tax ID numbers or anything like that that could be eligible for recovery. Within 24 hours of completing the registrations, clients will receive a follow-up email with instructions for logging into the MCAG Settlement Recovery Hub. This is a secure portal where clients can upload any pertinent information for filing purposes. Again, examples would include merchant ID numbers and all merchant locations. Clients can also view the settlements that have been filed on their behalf, in addition to receiving important updates regarding filing status, potential payout dates, etc. And we can resend instructions for how to enroll in the hub at any time by request. It really takes about 3 to 5 minutes total to register in the hub, and it's probably the easiest way for us to share information securely. So it's just something to keep in mind. In terms of client updates, clients will receive regular reporting from MCAG once we've initiated the filing process. An example of a report is displayed here on the screen. All clients will receive the class action settlements quarterly reports, which list all active settlements that MCAG is tracking and filing into on behalf of enrolled clients. And this document will also let clients know if anything is needed from them for filing into upcoming settlements. Again, you can always log onto the hub to receive up-to-the-minute reporting or updates as well, but we will try to cover as many bases as possible to make sure our clients are staying in the loop. There are several additional payment processing litigation matters that are moving through the courts. We'll briefly cover 3 of the upcoming settlements today. The first is the fraud liability chargeback shift. This settlement involves merchants challenging the shifting of fraud liability from banks to merchants for certain types of transactions. And essentially, it alleges that the liability shift was applied inappropriately or unfairly. So far, the settlement has set aside $231.7 million to reimburse affected parties. The settlement has not been finalized and a claim form is not available, but it's one that we're watching closely. And when it does reach the settlement phase, we'll make sure any eligible clients are getting filed into that settlement. The next is the Visa Debit Multi-District Litigation, or MDL settlement. This litigation alleges anti-competitive practices and excessive interchange fees on debit card transactions charged to merchants by the defendant. And an official settlement has not yet been reached by all parties. The litigation is still ongoing. But one notable development in this case is that the court found that the Visa MasterCard interchange fee settlement has no impact on this case. And the reason that this is significant is because it means that merchants that filed into the $5.5 billion Visa MasterCard settlement are not prohibited from pursuing claims against Visa and the debit card matter. So you can receive funds from both settlements. The last one that's still in the courts right now is the American Express anti-steering litigation. The plaintiffs in this case allege that merchants were prohibited from encouraging customers to use lower fee cards, which ultimately resulted in higher fees to the end merchants. So these are 3 that we're watching in the courts right now. And again, as soon as any one of them reaches the actual settlement phase where there's a filing deadline and a claim form available, we will notify clients immediately and file if they're eligible. I wanted to briefly cover the second round of the acute care hospital opioid settlement. We're not entirely sure how many of the college and universities may have healthcare facilities, but it's worth mentioning just in case some of you do. There is a second round of settlements for the acute care hospital opioid settlement. The first round of the ACH opioid settlement resulted in significant payments to many of our hospital clients and healthcare clients, including several clients that received seven-figure checks. The filing deadline for the first round was in March of 2025, and it had a fund of $651 million. The fund for the second round is $174 million thus far, and the settlement claims that defendants engage in coordinated actions that contributed to opioid addiction and aims to cover operational losses that hospitals or healthcare facilities incurred in treating patients with opioid-related conditions. And the reason that we wanted to mention this one, just in case any of you would be eligible, is that our clients received an average of $15,000 per facility from the first round of these settlements. So it can be a fairly lucrative settlement if you're eligible. In terms of options as a class member, there's really four major options. The first is to opt out. Again, class members will elect this option if they're pursuing the defendants directly with their own internal counsel or separate outside counsel. While this can lead to larger payments, there are several inherent risks, including significant costs associated with the additional litigation and damaged relationships going forward with the defendant. We always say, we've been filing claims for more than 20 years, and we've never had clients receive any blowback from taking funds from a specific settlement. In the vast majority of cases, the defendants just want the issue to go away. They want to know that the class members took the money. They never want to hear about it again. Obviously, though, if you're going to sue the defendants directly, that could damage a relationship going forward. The second option is to do nothing. In this instance, no money is received, but you're still bound by the terms of the settlement agreement. It is often the case that 80% or more of eligible entities do not pursue settlements. There's a number of reasons why this happens. The first is unknown ROI. It's very difficult to set up a budget for something with unknown returns and unknown time frame for payment. The second is limited access to data and records. Many of these settlements go back 15 years or more, so finding relevant data, even from other third parties, can be difficult as much of it is archived or no longer available. And last but not least, it's just hard to track all the settlements. Notices are arbitrarily sent. There's a really tight time frame when you do receive the notices. And so it's just hard for our clients and anyone in the country, actually, to keep track of every settlement that they may be eligible for. The third option is to submit a claim on your own. While this is certainly always a possibility, it is very rare that class members take advantage of all the settlement opportunities for which they have eligible claims. It is not uncommon for MCAG to file into a half dozen to a dozen settlements per year for clients, depending on the size and geographic region. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And then last but not least, obviously, you can have a third party submit a claim on your behalf. This is what MCAG does. We track all the settlements. We gather and format all the data. We fill out all the necessary paperwork, and then we work with the settlement administrator to ensure payment. We really try to act as your advocate and expert and cover everything from A to Z. A little bit about our company. We are headquartered in Toledo, Ohio, and we were founded in 2003 to provide the class action settlement recovery service. We act as the authorized third-party filing agent on behalf of our clients. We are not attorneys, and we do not generally participate in the litigation process. Instead, really what we do is we track and file into every settlement for which our clients are eligible to receive cash distributions. The settlements we work on are generally antitrust in nature, but the real key is that the organization itself is a class member and eligible to receive payment from the settlement. Our service is always provided on a contingency fee basis. meaning there are no upfront fees and we do not get paid unless our clients do. We do not send out bills or invoices. Instead, we send out a check net of our fees when a settlement successfully pays out. And MCAG has been filing into class action settlements for over 20 years, and we've represented clients in more than 120 cases. We are partnered with over 30 state hospital associations, as well as large consulting firms, pharmaceutical benefit managers, data clearinghouses, and others to provide this service. Our partners are a very valuable source of data that we can often rely on to assist in the claims filing process. And as a result, we've recovered over $500 million for more than 11,000 clients. In terms of value drivers for our clients, very little time and effort is required from clients in order to file a claim. Quite often, the basic information provided in the enrollment form is enough for us to file into a number of settlements each year. And again, our access to data through partnerships and providing templates for data requests, this drastically simplifies the process and generally increases the ultimate payment from a given settlement, leading to the maximum ROI. We do encourage all clients to send all settlement notices to our attention. While this is certainly not mandatory, we find that it's a tremendous option for many of our clients. It helps to provide peace of mind because we're taking this off of your desk and making sure that it gets filed in a timely manner. But it may also alert us to industry or region-specific settlements that we may not be aware of because it just affects such a small number of clients. So that's just another one we can add to the pipeline. And because we track and file into every available settlement, we're always increasing the number of opportunities for each client, which generally leads to a larger revenue stream. In terms of operational support, once a client is enrolled, our account management team continually notifies clients of pending opportunities and ensures that all claims are filed in a timely manner. We do work directly with clients to prepare email templates for data requests if it's needed, and we provide a report of all claims filed and payments made or pending payments. We do have years of working of experience in working with the nation's largest settlement administrators. And again, our access to data is what really sets us apart from the competition. Because we work with clearinghouses, insurance companies, practice management providers, and others, we have a proven track record of increasing claims substantially as a result of this process. Our enrollment process is quick and easy, and once enrolled, we'll immediately start notifying and tracking clients into all settlements that they're eligible for. Clients can enroll electronically through our co-branded website, and a hyperlink will be sent out following today's presentation that will allow you to click on and enroll online. Upon accessing the enrollment form, organizations will need to include some basic information, including business name, primary address, tax ID number, and several other items that will assist us in filing into virtually every settlement. And once the client will get a confirmation email from our account managers listing the settlements MCAG plans on pursuing on their behalf. And at this point, the client can let MCAG know if they want to pursue some or all of the listed settlements. And again, if there's ever any issues when trying to enroll, please just reach out to us directly. We'll even have account managers. I'll do it myself. We'll walk you through the enrollment process. It generally takes 5 to 7 minutes at the most to complete all of the required fields. And then as soon as that is finished, you'll receive a confirmation email immediately with all the pertinent details. This email will include a copy of the MCAG agreement as well as details on how to contact an MCAG representative if desired. And so to summarize, if you believe your organization may even be remotely eligible for the Discover Card settlement or the ACH opioid settlement, and you have not already started the process of filing a claim, it makes sense to have MCAG and the coalition guide you through the process. Again, the hyperlink to enroll through the coalition will be provided as a follow-up to this presentation. And it's noteworthy noteworthy that the coalition has negotiated a discounted rate of 20% of recoveries on behalf of their members. So in other words, the client keeps 80% of recovered amounts after the settlements pay out. And another noteworthy item is that settlements typically take anywhere from 18 to 36 months from the filing deadline. So once we file a claim on the deadline, it takes about that long to pay out. However, the average is probably closer to 24. The biggest determinant in how long it takes for a settlement to pay out is usually the dollar amount. So typically the largest settlements take a little bit longer. They'll take 2 to 3 years, where some of the smaller or region specific can even pay out within a year. And one thing we always try to have clients keep in mind is that we're continually building up the pipeline. So each settlement that we file into, that means that we're building up the pipeline. And then when the first payment is eventually made, there are significant payments waiting to become right behind that. So again, if you have any additional questions on any of these settlements that we've listed, anything about our service, we're more than happy to make ourselves available. And if you would like any additional educational pieces as well, please don't hesitate to let us know. But thank you everyone for taking the time to attend the presentation, and enjoy the